The summit of the non-aligned movement hosted by Venezuela last month. Delegations from across the developing world attended. All this is evidence, says Venezuela, that this is not a country that's being shunned internationally.
Because the opposition, political opposition, and mainly from the United States, they are trying to work in the idea that our country is isolating from the international community, and that's not true.
But no one is pretending that things haven't changed here. On the eve of the conference, and with more than a hint of nostalgia, a statue was unveiled. Was it a reminder of previous times when the oil price was sky high, this man, Hugo Chavez, was in power, and Venezuela had no shortage of allies? Brasilia in 2012, a summit of the Latin American regional grouping Mercosur. The highlight was the admission of Venezuela as a member, long overdue, said Chavez.
Venezuela joining Mercosur as a full member coincides with the beginning of a new political and constitutional cycle starting soon in Venezuela.
The president died of cancer the following year. Fast forward 4 years, and the political landscape of South America has changed dramatically. Now the two key members of Mercosur, Brazil and Argentina, have centre-right governments. Both countries' presidents met in Buenos Aires on Monday. Mercosur, which includes Paraguay and Uruguay, has become highly critical of Venezuela, partly owing to the government's treatment of its opposition, as well as its failure to implement agreements on trade. The group has now blocked Venezuela from assuming the rotating presidency and threatened to downgrade its membership.
Here in Caracas, the government has issued a defiant statement. It says it remains the temporary president of Mercosur and describes what it says are threats from Brazil and Argentina as risking destroying the union.
Mercosur is taking a hard line against Venezuela at a time when its economy has become far less important to the group. Sales from Brazil and Argentina to Venezuela have almost halved since 2012. Professor Sergio Arancibia from Venezuela's Association of Exporters says his country's participation in Mercosur was always built on shaky ground.
There's a type of diplomacy which Venezuela has practiced, which has shown to have had bad results. A diplomacy fundamentally based on the personal relationships between presidents. These relations are extremely fragile, and they can easily be broken if the politics of countries change.
On the same day that Venezuela lashed out against Brazil and Argentina, President Maduro was also showing his more cordial side. Two American actors, Jamie Foxx and Lucas Haas, were welcomed to the presidential palace.
We have a better relationship than ever before in history with the people of the United States, and that's the way we want it.
Remarks like that are prompting some speculation here in Venezuela. As relations with his neighbors to the south deteriorate, is the Venezuelan leader attempting to reach out to his longtime adversary to the north? Stephen Gibbs, CCTV, Caracas.